Hey everybody, it's your favorite traveler in the entire world, Imani B, coming to you live again. And guess what, y'all? We've hit 200 subscribers. Yes, round of applause, round of applause. I'm so excited. I've been very consistent with making sure that I roll out these videos. Tuesday was a doozy, but we're gonna turn Travel Tuesday and Travel Thursday this week. And I wanted to bring you this video because I feel like it's important, especially more and more people traveling to Mexico. I've been in Mexico many times, and being here now, it's just really important to reinforce some things that I've been seeing online and having people have a better understanding of traveling here, right? So let's get into it. Okay, so number one of the most important things that I feel that's important for traveling to Mexico in 2022, I get that there are no restrictions, meaning that you got that blue passport, you got an American passport, you got a Canadian passport, you got, whatever passport, you can come over here. You don't have to have a negative COVID test. You don't have to be vaccinated, all that jazz, right? But I think it is absolutely irresponsible to come anywhere during a global pandemic, because guess what? We're still in a global pandemic, and pretty much risk lives of people just because you didn't come with a negative COVID test. I believe that you should at least have a negative COVID test if you're traveling somewhere, especially in a pandemic, and here's why. Somewhere like here in Mexico, vaccines are not aplenty, okay? In Mexico, they actually had to disseminate vaccines based on age, starting with, I believe it was age 40 to 59, and then they worked their way down. But vaccines aren't aplenty, right? And on top of that, you have a lot of vulnerable populations. So we're not just talking about, a Cancun that's more updated and more, built up and all of these kinds of things. You still have areas and pockets of Cancun, of a Playa del Carmen or Tulum or Oaxaca or Los Cabos that are not as well developed, that don't have enough spaces in their hospitals in the event there's a surge of cases, which there has been many times, because people are like, oh, no restrictions, I'm going to Tulum, I'm going to get my life, and in the process, you're risking other people's lives. Make it make sense. So at the very least, if you're coming to Mexico in 2022, do your due diligence and get a negative COVID test. At least do a home COVID test and make sure that, that comes up negative, even if you're not going to a CVS or somewhere where I feel like you still should go and get a rapid antigen test and see, okay, I'm negative, okay, great, and get on your plane and be merry, okay? Number two, with coming to Mexico. Now, as a U.S. citizen, you are allowed 180 days. That is 6 months, okay? 180 days, you are allowed to be here in Mexico. Not 181, not 185, not 200, 180, right? Without having to get a visa, apply for a visa, or any of that. However, they are cracking down in customs in the airports, where I've seen people say, oh, I'm going to be here for 180 days and they got 20. Oh, I'm going to be here for 150 days and they've got 2 weeks, okay? I had someone fly in to come visit us, while we were in Cancun, and just to test it out, I said, tell them that you're going to be here for 20 days. And the person gave them 2 weeks. Okay, so they're cracking down. So although, you are allowed to have 180 days with an American passport and not applying for any other type of visa, they will decide how many days you get. And so therefore, do not overstay your visa, right? Abide by, this is what we say as American, right? Abide by the laws of the land. Abide by the laws of the land. Don't disrespect another country by coming there and just being a schlub. If it say 2 weeks, then fly out, fly back in if you need to. But whatever they give you on your FMM card, the FMM card is the card that you fill out the top and the bottom when you're on the plane, and that bottom piece is the FMM card. That's what they leave you with, that you have to keep with you the entire time that you are in Mexico, okay? And you have to give it back when you're leaving out of the country. So that's number two. Make sure, okay, that you see, and you know exactly how many days it says that you are allowed to stay here. Also, with traveling to Mexico in 2022, make sure that you at the very least talk to people. I've seen so many people that have gotten some kind of Airbnb and they hate it. They thought because it was this Instagrammable looking thing, they're like, oh my God, there's mosquitoes and there's roaches and there's this. Like, roaches are habitual, meaning they're in the habitat. You may see them. Like, you may see them. Mosquitoes, I mean, hello, you're coming to Mexico. And it depends on what area of Mexico that you're in, because in Mexico City, you might not have that problem with mosquitoes because it's a little bit colder. But you're definitely going to have that problem if you go to anywhere in the southern regions of Mexico where it's warm and it's humid, and yeah, you're going to see mosquitoes. But make sure that you talk to other people. Get your referrals from people who stayed at a place before, and actually have the accommodations that you're used to. Because the one thing that is not fair is that you come to Mexico and then you give somebody a bad review because you didn't do your own due diligence to make sure that the place was top notch, okay? Another thing that you're going to have to understand, especially during this time of year, especially in the Quintana Roo area, which is Playa del Carmen, Tulum, Bacalar, all of that region, right? You may find molds, okay? Because the humidity and the moisture inside of the buildings, I don't know if they're insulated here. I don't know if they use insulation, but the way that they've built the buildings, the housing structures, etc., the apartments, it causes a lot of humidity on the inside. You're going to find a lot of moisture, and if you don't have a dehumidifier, if whomever is hosting you does not have a dehumidifier, 9.5 times out of 10, you are going to see mold somewhere. You're going to find mold somewhere. So be very cognizant of that. And if you need to ask your Airbnb person, hey, do you have any mold? Okay, is there mold in the house? Is there mold in the closet? Is there mold in the bathroom? If you want to know how to say mold in Espanol, it's mojo. Mojo. So if you need to ask, hey, is there any mold in the house? Mojo? No? See? No? Ask that, okay? Because you might see it, you might, oh, this place is dirty. It's like, no, it's just humid, and that's just a part of where it is that you're going to be, right? So it's important to identify that. Talk to people who actually stayed in places that offer the type of accommodations that you're looking for. Mexico is going to offer you a range. You can get super high-end luxury. You're going to pay for it, right? Or you can get outside in the sticks. And people love a bit of both. And then you can get somewhere in the middle, right? You know what I'm saying? And then you can also choose to be on a resort where you get all-inclusive, all of that jazz. It's got a little bit of everything, but make sure you do your own research, because you don't want to end up disappointed and feeling like, oh, this sucks. This is not what I expected, because a lot of people are doing that. They're coming here. They are on this Instagram social media wave. They want to do their TikToks and their all of that stuff. And then they're like, this is not what I expected. That's your own fault. That has nothing to do with the country. That has nothing to do with the people. That is on you, okay? Also, coming to Mexico in 2022, and this is my last thing. Don't come here with y'all stink-ass American attitudes and your entitlement. Don't do that. Don't do that. And it actually goes back to my point about coming here with, at the bare minimum, of a negative COVID test, because I feel like that is an American entitlement, that you belong somewhere and you don't have to do things to look after other people. Don't come somewhere with your entitlement. Everyone around the world, and if you watch my very first video, I let you all know who I am, where I've been, where it is that I've lived. I've lived all around the world. I've lived on 4 continents, right? Everywhere in the world does not move how Americans move. Americans want everything fast, here, now. Somebody's on their phone, oh, that's disrespectful, that's bad customer service. You might find somebody in the shop completely napping until you come in the door, okay? Understand that there are certain cultural norms, right, that may not be yours, but respect other people's cultural norms. So if you're going to come to Mexico in 2022, please leave that American mentality, leave that American mindset, leave that American entitlement, that selfishness, that whatever it is, all that stank air, leave it on the plane. In fact, don't even put it on the plane. Leave it in the airport on the American side, okay? and do your due diligence to make sure that you're not offensive to people because you have an American expectations of how things should go, which is not necessarily how things should go because you're in someone else's area of the world. Got it? Got it. Okay? So make sure that you all hit this bell, right? Make sure you all hit subscribe. I'm going to be bringing videos more frequently so that way I can help you all for Monetize Mondays, everything from monetization of your social media platforms, how to get verification, how to snag these brand deals. I actually put in one of my Monetize Mondays videos where it is that I've actually gotten my brand deals and how much I made from brand deals. My Travel Talk Tuesdays and sometimes maybe Thursdays, depending on how my mental health is and depending on how tired I am. But I'm going to make sure that these videos are robust from helping you with everything of getting yourself situated and learning how to travel the world, whether solo, as a family, as a couple. I've given birth abroad. I've done all of those things. I've lived in 4 continents. As I repeat, I've lived in 5 countries. So anything in terms of expatriation, living abroad, working abroad, that's going to be the next video because I feel like a lot of people they're kind of using this whole remote thing to bait people into something that may not necessarily be allowed by their employers. So y'all want to stay tuned because y'all definitely want to know more about this. Definitely click the link below. I wrote an ebook called Pack Your Shh. Okay, it is the ultimate guide to learning how to move abroad and getting adjusted to life abroad if you are considering it. It's got everything from LGBTQ travel to filing your taxes to picking a school for your children to picking an apartment. Okay, so click that below. Follow me on Instagram and IG, and I will see you all again next week for Monetize Monday.